After his consulship, Caesar left at once for Gaul, where he was to remain for the next 8 years. By the time he returned to Rome, he had conquered the entire country. Plutarch estimates that 1 million Gauls lost their lives, with another million enslaved. Far more important to Caesar himself, he had built up a military reputation which put even Pompey in the shade, showing himself to be one of the supreme commanders of all time. His mind worked like lightning and could adapt instantly to a changing situation. His timing was faultless. Physically, too, he possessed almost incredible energy and powers of endurance, often traveling 100 miles in a light carriage in a single day, in spite of appalling weather and execrable roads. Back in Rome, although Pompey and Crassus were still in charge, their authority was rapidly weakening thanks to the intrigues and machinations of Publius Claudius Pulcher, he who had infiltrated the Bona Dea ceremony. Claudius had by now revealed himself as a dangerously radical demagogue whose activities were becoming a serious threat to the state. Determined that their triumvirate should be preserved, the three met in 56 BC at Lucca, a city just inside Cisalpine Gaul. Caesar, being aware that a number of irregularities during his consulship might well render him liable to prosecution if he set foot on Roman territory. There, by dividing the Roman world into three separate spheres of influence, east to Crassus, center to Caesar, west to Pompey, they decided how best their several ambitions could be fulfilled. Pompey and Crassus would stand for the consulship for the second time in the following year. After that, Crassus, who was beginning to feel overshadowed by the other two and was determined to prove himself in battle, would lead an expedition beyond the Euphrates against the Parthian Empire, now the only substantial nation confronting Rome anywhere in the world. Pompey would take over a 5 year responsibility for Spain, governing it, however, for most of the time through subordinates, so that he could remain in Rome as effective head of the administration. As for Caesar, he would have his Gallic command extended for another 5 years so that he could extend and consolidate his conquests.